Hello, everyone. And okay, class is canceled. So, a quick kind of run through of what we're going to cover today and some important things that I think you should make sure you know as you're getting ready to start your first speech, informative speeches. But a lot of this applies to all your speeches, so it's still all important to keep in mind for the whole semester. Okay, so chapter 5, listening. One thing you need to remember with your audience is that it is very egocentric. The what's in it for me, the with them. You need to make sure that somehow you are applying to something that they will be interested. Why should they care? Why should they listen to you? What are they going to get out of it? Okay. That's number one for your audience, but you as an audience when listening, what should you be doing? You want to make sure that you're being open-minded. You should not be distracted looking at other things on your desk, playing with video, looking at your speech. I know that's hard. You're nervous. You want to get ready for yours, but you should be paying attention to whoever is speaking just as you will wish to have anyone listening to you too. Beware of internal distractions. You're thinking about what your kids need to do that night or what you're doing on the weekend. You really want to make sure that you're giving your speakers your attention just like you would want when you're giving your speech. Make sure you're actively listening, hearing what they're saying. Avoid any biases. Maybe this is a topic you don't agree with or you don't like, or you feel you know all of it, you don't need to hear anymore. Just listen and pay attention anyway. This is all everyone's practicing, so this is important that we're being good listeners. Chapter 6, your audience analysis. You should notice on Blackboard for week 2, I have uploaded a quiz, a survey that I wish all of you have to fill that out. This will give us our audience, our class demographics as far as what kind of students we have in class. This is very important when you're giving an audience. I once gave a presentation to a group of retired school teachers who are docents for the museum, the zoo up in Buffalo, New York. I was very daunted by that. Okay, how do you teach retired teachers how to do better public speaking? That was a real issue. But since I knew my audience, I knew who they were, I made sure I went overboard finding things that would interest them to make it a little bit better for them, a better experience. So I realized these are older people. This is back in like 2003. And I knew that back then, their schooling, teacher education, they didn't learn much about intercultural differences, and especially in Buffalo, mostly white European type children that they taught for the most part, probably. So I touched on the intercultural differences, ways to reach out to these different audiences. I had them do tongue twisters. It ended up being one of the best presentations I ever gave, and they had fun. They were all thanking me after, and I was like, thank goodness they actually liked it. But that was extremely intimidating for me to realize I was going to be presenting to them. But I knew all of this ahead because I did an audience analysis. I found out their ages, what most of them had done as careers beforehand, so that I knew what I was dealing with, and I was able to prepare a better presentation that they actually enjoyed. So audience analysis is very important. With this class, we're not going to have time to really find out what people know about topics so much. We're kind of crunched for time, but at least by knowing the demographics, this will help in some way too, so that we know kind of what we're dealing. The nice thing is we have a nice mix in the class. But we'll talk about a little bit more about that. Just please make sure you fill out that survey. Chapter 7, selecting a topic. We need to be thinking about our informative topic now. I do have an assignment under week 2 that I need you to give me your thesis and main ideas for at least 2 or 3 topic ideas that you have, and then I can give you feedback as to things you might want to do or look at a little differently to help you get a good topic. So it's important that you do that. Ideas to get your topic. On page 47 of the textbook, they give you some ideas and ways to brainstorm, surfing the web, looking for topics, put in keywords, see what comes up, things that you like. Your Facebook page always has ideas and posts, and that might give you some ideas as for a topic as well. You really want to stick to something that you know, that you care about, that you're passionate about, because this will help you be more comfortable when you give your speech. Really jot down a bunch of ideas. Just write a bunch of stuff down, talk to your family, talk to friends, and say, hey, what do you think I would have a good topic about? So those are some things to do to find a topic. You have 3 speeches you'll be doing besides your little introductory speech next week. You have your first speech is the informative, which we'll do as a video upload, which I know is going to be kind of scary hard, but we need to do it that way. We don't have time for else. No, you will not be using any visuals in that speech. It's strictly you and some note cards and your video camera, such as I'm doing right now. And for your second speech, it'll be persuasive, which I will let you use a visual for that one. And I want to try and do that in class because I think it's very important that we get that actual audience. It'll take 2 classes for us to do that more than likely, but I think that's very important. And then your final speech will be the commemorative speech where you give an award, thank someone, introduce somebody. That's more of a fun speech. It's only like 2-3 minutes, or about 2 minutes, and so that'll be our last. And depending on how the weeks go here, we will do that either the 7th or 8th week of class. We have to look at final exam as well. I might have to, with us losing this week. Hopefully we don't lose any more weeks. All right, so that's selecting your topic and what to expect for your topics. Oh, and also when you're choosing your thesis on page 51, they give you some ideas on that. Also look at my outline that I posted under course document, no, under the speech assignments, I believe. You can see how your thesis should look, how your specific purpose should look. Your thesis should be a very clear 1-sentence statement that pretty much sums up what your speech about the topic, about what are you saying about the topic. Just like you do for an essay or research paper, it pretty much sums up what it is you want to say about that topic. You will also have main ideas, and you should have 2 to 5 main ideas, and they should each one should lead back to that thesis. If it doesn't lead back to the thesis, it's not a good main idea. And that's why the outline is really important. Working on outlines will help you figure out whether you're staying on track well enough or not. Okay, so that takes care of Chapter 7. Chapter 8, supporting material. This is kind of the crunch of what you're doing for your research. You should have at least 3 sources. You can use more, but I want at least 3. Be careful you don't get too many, though, because then you get overwhelmed with information and then you don't want to know what to use, and you end up kind of straying off focus of your speech. But supporting material will be examples, stories, testimony, facts, and statistics. Stats, you need to use them ethically. If you find a stat that proves your point, but then a little bit later it shows how that stat wasn't really right, don't use it. You want to use things that actually prove your point ethically, strongly, not so that someone else can say, yeah, but I heard. Okay. So supporting material, and we can talk a little bit more about that next week a little bit, but the next chapter, Chapter 9, actually talks about finding material. How do you get the supporting material? Primary sources would be first-hand accounts, direct evidence, if you find like someone's diary or an interview. Direct evidence, these would be primary sources. Most of your sources will probably be secondary. Books, newspapers, periodicals, government sources, databases, reference materials, interviews. These would be your secondary information you're finding where someone else kind of talked to or interviewed or researched it. You want to be very careful about credible resources. And a reason for using note cards when you give a speech. Here I go with the paper. I'm sorry, I wasn't planning on having to do this, and I don't have any note cards here at home. All right, so we'll talk a little bit more about your sport, but you should be trying to do some research now already. The library database is very important. I'll make sure there's a link posted on Blackboard, how to get to the library databases. Informative speeches you don't have to use as like research stuff so much because you're just finding information, but you want to make sure that they're credible, which gets to Chapter 10, credible sources, especially online, because as I mentioned, any idiot can make a website. I have 2 of them, and that proves my point. Any idiot can make a website, anyidiot.com, okay? Library portal, as I said, I'll put a link up for that. Going to the databases, any websites, you want to make sure that whoever has made that website is somehow truly affiliated with that topic. It can't just be anyone making a website because they like it. It needs to be someone who somehow is doing it, involved in it, the official website for an event or a place or a group. So you just want to be very careful. If there are a lot of links on that website, they're not maybe putting as good credible information as they should be doing. That means they're selling you. Okay, links, web advertising websites means that they are making money from these advertisers by how many clicks they get on the website, which means information they put up there is going to be sensational, interesting, exciting to get people to click on it. So be very wary of websites that have a lot of advertising. That shows that they're trying to get advertisers to give them money by selling clicks from you. Okay, you want to make sure that the facts, the data are unbiased, showing both sides of issues. Keep in mind, propaganda is going to be biased. It's somehow getting you to do something for their benefit, not for your benefit. And misinformation. People purposely put stuff out there. Wikipedia, some newspaper used Wikipedia for an obituary about someone who had died. Well, some smart aleck had gone on, changed information in that person's bio purposely, and then of course here this newspaper publishes this information and it was wrong because they used Wikipedia. So that's the thing. Wikipedia is not a credible website. It's a good place to go for ideas, to get a general information, but do not use Wikipedia. It's only a good place as far as kind of double checking, getting some ideas. Look down at the bottom, see if you see any websites that they use that might be credible and good to use, but do not use Wikipedia, please. Search engines, Bing and Google might be the best one. Yahoo and some of those others, you get so much other junk in with it that I'd be careful of that. And keyword searches. Page 83 gives you some ideas of how to do keyword searching, such as your topic and then and. If you put and or, then you get either or. If you want both those words, you need to put and. So that's another good thing is keyword searches. And that's where using the library data. The library portal might be a little bit better type of place to search for because it actually has advanced search and you can put all these different items in there to help search. So that'll be a good one to check. Chapter 23 gets into the actual informative speech. Some topics that you could use, some ideas for types of items you could do your speech on are objects, phenomena, people, places, events, processes, concepts, issues. You want to be careful with the informative speech that you are only informing. You're giving us information. We decide what to do with it. You don't tell us we should or, oh, you got to go. No, you don't do that. You're just giving us information. We decide what to do with it. If we do anything, it might be like, oh, okay, that was cool. Nice to know. Thanks. Okay. And this is where a lot of people mess up. They tend to get so involved in their speech and they start telling us what we should do. Don't do that in the informative speech. Okay. Your persuasive speech is where you really want to get excited, tell us what to do and how we should do it and all of this other stuff. So you should show both sides. It should be unbiased. Page 178 goes into a little bit more information about the topics and what you should do. Ways to describe for your informative speech. You can use definition to define whatever the topic is, description, demonstration, explanation. As you're forming your speech, and this goes for all your speeches, you want to use transitions that let us know you're switching. And in the outline that I posted, you will see that I put the transitions in italics. And on your note cards, when you give your speeches, writing those transitions down might help you as you're going through your speech because you'll be, okay, I need to switch to my next main idea. But transitions are a good way to let us know that you're switching from this main idea to your next main idea. They are very vital, very important. As you're giving your main ideas, using a word pattern to let us know, okay, here's another main idea because it's following the same word pattern as your last main idea. That helps the audience follow as well. And page 183 gives a sample speech. As far as some transitions, I don't think that is the greatest speech, but it's in your book. You can look at it. Please look at my outline that I posted for you. And be looking at some TED Talks and some speeches where they're just giving information. Be careful about finding speeches that are persuading. If you type into YouTube and look for informative speech examples, you might find some good ones to use. I think that's about it. Kind of quick video. I didn't want to have you watching a video for a long time, so it is kind of short and quick. Please make sure you're looking through these chapters and read the week 2, all of the assignments. I did change it up since we don't have class today. I really need to get us going here. We're down to 6 weeks left and a lot to do still, and I really want to help you come up with some good speeches. So please work with me. I am really sorry we couldn't meet tonight. I definitely was looking forward to it. Please be there next week. We will do the introductory speeches. It's really, really important that you attend these next 6 weeks. We cannot afford to miss. And I know this is the season. We kind of get sick and all that. Sit up front a little bit if you're coughing, not feeling too great. But please rest up, take care of yourself so that you can get through this next few weeks and finish this course successfully. I'm really looking forward to see you next week, and have a good one. And please, after you watch this video, I do want you to post a reply, comments, questions, anything you have, and we'll kind of do a little class discussion on Blackboard, on the discussion board. Okay, so this will be our class discussion, is this post. Take care, stay warm, bye-bye. I can figure out how to stop. Always